Hi, Room 402. It's Mrs. Walker here with your weekly video for your lab bundles. This is for the week of April 27th through May 1st. So this will be for the packet that you should have picked up on Friday. If you are watching this video and you were not able to go down to the school on Friday to pick up your packet, Mrs. Houston is going to be there for you to get your packets this week on Tuesday and Thursdays from 11 to 1 when the lunch is being available for pickup at the cafeteria. The work packets will be in the office while the food is still available in the cafeteria. So walk over there. You can ring the doorbell and get the packets from her if you have not done that yet. I missed seeing you on Friday, but for those of you that I did get to see, it was so great to see all of you. Gia, thank you for that sign that you put on your car window. That really warmed my heart this week. So let me show you what we have to work on so you know what we're going to be doing. As a reminder, you should be watching this on my YouTube channel. And if you've done that and you have not subscribed, please click subscribe. That way you get notifications as soon as I upload my weekly videos. And if I get a chance to do any more read alouds, you can see those notifications too. You also need to know that if you have not subscribed to Mr. LaBelle's channel, whose icon you also see here on the screen, you need to do that as well. If you just type in what I have in yellow here, Joshua LaBelle, and you will see the picture of this bear scratching its head, that's the channel you want to subscribe to for Mr. LaBelle. He started a channel before I made mine that has all these videos on it of different topics I can help you with, especially this week. You're going to be doing some math worksheets on multiplication, a little bit on fractions, and those videos that he has on his channel will be helpful. So please subscribe to that channel if you have not done that already. All right, this week in reading, you're going to continue in your benchmark reader, and you're going to be reading a selection about how you get pieces of fruit into the jars of jam and what is that process. I actually love to make jam at home, so it's one that I'm going to make sure that I read this week because I want to see if the steps that they talk about match the way that I make jam at home. So the story's pretty long, and it's going to be divided up into 3 different days for you just to read the story. And every day that you read the chunk that you see from days 1 to 3, there is a question that I want you to focus on, and it is this: what are the important steps in making jam? I only want you to annotate the important steps. What do you do first? What do you do next? All the steps that they talk about. So I only want you to annotate and underline those parts. Then on day 4, you see here on day 4, I circled that on page 31, there's going to be a worksheet there for you to fill out and list all the steps for me that you think is important in making jam. Now, if you look at the sheet that I have here on the screen that's in your benchmark reader, you'll see that they only want you to put down 3 important steps. You might have written more than that. So you either have to pick the top 3, or you're going to have to figure out a way to kind of combine some of those steps into 3 big chunks. And what might that be? Or if you're feeling extra creative or you're just tired of doing worksheets, I have another idea here on the screen called Draw It Out. Kind of make a comic strip. And if you want to draw in like a little simple box, a very basic picture of what those steps for jam making can be, do that. The example that I have here, a kid was just writing a normal comic strip, but I like that they had a picture and a sentence in the same box. So kind of think of it like a caption for your picture. If you would like to do that, it does not just have to be 3 steps. It can be as many steps as you underlined that you want to show me in your comic strip. If you do the comic strip, you do not have to do page 31 in your benchmark reader. So have fun with that. I'd like to see what you guys come up with. In writing this week, we have a new paragraph that you're going to be working on. It's a question that says here in the very first box, growing up or down? And you're like, what does that mean? Read the next sentence. Would you rather be older than you are right now or younger? So would you rather go up in age and become old like me? Or would you rather go down in age and get younger, like one of your younger siblings, or even as young as a baby? You get to pick which way you'd think you'd want to go. And really, I guess if you think that you're great right where you are, that could be your opinion too. You could just say, I want to stay right where I am. I don't want to go up or down. But here's what I want to work on with you guys. Looking through your work from this last week, some people, very few people, I could tell, planned out their paragraph and really did the steps that we've been doing in class. Most of you just jumped right to the paragraph and got right to the final draft. And that's not quite what I want you to do. So I want you to look here at the screen so you understand what I'm wanting you to do day by day. On day one, you should just be working on planning it out and getting your ideas. If you decided that you want to become older, that's what would go in the center of this bubble map. And then around it are going to be the reasons why do you want to get older. And it's the same thing is true if you want to get younger. Say, I want to be younger is what you would have in the middle. And then all your reasons why would go around the edges, or if you want to stay the same age. This bubble map is in your work packet. But if you mess up, if you lose it, draw your own. You have an example here. And we've done this kind of thing in class. But that's all you need to do for day one. You might want to be as smart as to say, of all those things I wrote around the edges, which ones could any ideas go together? Like, is one a yellow and it could one be a red supporting sentence that gives extra information? If you think so, put some of those colored dots by these ideas. That'll save you some extra thinking. On day two, I have a box that is here, and I have listed all the different sentences that you need to make that paragraph complete. Let's count and see how many that is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, I'll say that maybe you might only want to do 2 yellows instead of 3, and maybe only 2 reds instead of 3. If that's the case, that would take that would take your paragraph down to 6 sentences, but your paragraph should be somewhere between 6 to 8 sentences long, maybe even 9 if you had an extra red or yellow. So when I'm seeing paragraphs that have only 3 or 4 sentences, that's too short. I want a full, complete paragraph. It should look like this. So on day 2, you need to make sure you just have all those pieces and you want to start getting them in order. I have here in the lesson plans what all those colors mean in case you forgot. But then look at day 3. Day 3 looks different than day 2. Day 2, I just made sure I had all my different pieces. In day 3, I'm going to start writing it like a paragraph. You will see that this top green topic sentence has been indented. Did you notice that? Make sure that you indent. And then as I'm writing the reds and yellows, I'm not keeping them all along the same side like I did in day 2. I'm writing them as a paragraph. So when my topic sentence, if it ended right here, if you look where my cursor is, if my green topic sentence ended right here, I'm going to start my yellow sentence right next to it. Keep writing that out. And when it stops, I'll start writing my red sentence. That way it looks like a paragraph, not like a list of sentences. Then when I'm moving on to day 4 or 5, somewhere in there, I'm going to edit my work. If you still have the editing checklist, you're going to want to use that. If you turned it in to me last week and you don't have that anymore, think about the kinds of things you should correct. Punctuation, capitalization, spelling. Read it out loud. Madison and I talked about that this week. Make sure you read your paragraph out loud so your ears can hear it. Believe me, you are going to pick up some mistakes if you slowly read the words you wrote on the page and not what your brain thinks you actually wrote. After you've edited your work, on days 4 or 5, one of those days, you're going to do a nice, clean, final draft copy where it looks nice and neat. But save all these steps that I have here on the screen. I want to see the entire complete process when you turn your work into me in a couple weeks. Now, on math, I have been noticing that there is a lot of math assignments. And for some of you, it's fantastic and you're getting everything done. And then for others, it's like, oh, Mrs. Walker, it's a little too much. So what I've done this week is I have put 4 yellow stars next to what I think are the 4 most important assignments. And I'm giving you some permission. If you do these 4 worksheets well, these are the 4 I want you to complete this week. I know that there's 2 worksheets every single day. And if you want to do them, some are easier than others, go ahead and do both. But I absolutely want you to have these 4 worksheets done for this week so that you can turn it in the couple weeks to come. And especially for these 4 worksheets, look through them right after you're done watching this video or pause right now and check them out. make sure you know what you don't understand. So when I call this week, you can ask questions. You might even want to pause the video right now and put a yellow star or a whatever next to these 4 assignments so you know which ones are my top assignments for the week. For social studies, I'm now going to start making this an optional activity because, again, I'm looking at what students are doing, and I want to make sure that the work you are doing is quality work and not that you're feeling rushed to get everything done. Now, I think this is really interesting stuff, and I think that if you're saying, I'm bored, well, then maybe your parents are going to tell you to do this work instead. But I am going to make social studies optional this week and maybe push you to either say, I'm going to do social studies this week or science this week. If you don't think you can get both of them done, maybe just pick one of those areas to have some fun with. In science, if you have been staying along and working on it and you got to do the marble or the small ball rolling activity the other week, well, this week we're going to work with a larger ball. We're going to work with a soccer ball or any kind of ball that you have that you can kick. Now, this worksheet that you see here, I'm only showing you the first 2 pages. There's actually a 3rd page stapled together in your work packet this week. But all that you're going to be doing is this first page and this second page where there is parts 1 and part 2. You're not going to do part 3 yet. You can look ahead, and if you want to try it out, you can, but I haven't given any specific instructions. What I will say is that in your lesson plan, you see the link to Mr. LaBelle's channel for a science video that I showed you last week on his channel. If you did not watch that, but you want to try the soccer video today and you haven't done any science up until now, you're really going to want to watch that video on Mr. LaBelle's channel. It's called Force Arrows, and it's probably one of the top recent videos on his list. If you just watch that video, that'll really make this soccer activity make a whole lot more sense. I think it's going to be fun. Try it out, even if you haven't done any science up until this point. I think you'll enjoy. So that's the download. Those are all the details for the work this week. Make sure that you do look through all of your pages for the entire week, maybe starting Monday morning before you get busy on your work. I'll start my phone calls on Tuesday and then go through the end of the week, making sure that I touch bases with all of you, especially if I didn't get a chance to talk with you last week. I want to make sure that I get to hear your voices and know how the work is going this week. So make a list of questions. Fold those little corners, save those things so that when I give a call to you, you know what to jump through or jump to so that I can help you with your things. I miss you guys so much. I'm going to have some special surprises in your next packet. Maybe some watercolor things you made with Mrs. Smith. I might have them in a gift form. There's a holiday coming up for one of your parents that you might want to use it for. And I also have a book order that I ordered some books on, and I'm going to be giving you all a new book to read while you're at home if you want. So I just miss all of you guys and can't wait to talk to you this week. Bye.